Hello, I'm Helen Fu, the host of this TV show, Health Factor with Helen Fu. I'm also a certified nutritionist, Chinese herbalist, and a specialist in diet, nutrition, weight loss, diabetes, and cancer. In our last episode, we talked about the importance of diet, nutrition with weight loss, diabetes, and today we are going to talk about another important factor, which is exercise and physical activity. I'm very excited to have a guest on my show today, Steve DiOrio. Welcome, Steve, to our show.
Thank you, Helen. It's great to be here.
So, Steve,
Yes.
I understand that you are a master in karate.
That's correct.
And so tell us that when did you get into karate and why did you get into karate?
Well, I got involved in martial arts, it's almost 38 years ago. I was 13 years old, and I think like a lot of people who get into the martial arts, I was being bullied at school, I was being picked on. My parents were tired of picking me up at the principal's office and decided I should learn to defend myself. At first, my father wanted me to take boxing, so I went to a boxing gym. And instead of being beaten up in school, I was being beaten up in the boxing gym. So that didn't work out. And then I walked into a dojo one day on my own, and I fell in love with it. That was, in fact, the date was May 1st, 1976. I was 13 years old, so now everyone knows how old I am.
Oh, you are still young. You look
Oh,
great.
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there is a difference, I understand, between karate and other forms of physical activity, or like Taekwondo or Kung Fu.
Yep.
And what is the difference?
It's a great question. All traditional martial arts like karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, judo, and the list goes on, they're all fantastic. They're all wonderful. The biggest difference, the first difference I want to describe is sometimes a linguistic difference or language difference. Kung fu is Chinese, karate is Japanese, Taekwondo comes from Korea. If you didn't know anything about them and you watched them, you probably see that they're very similar to each other in many cases, and sometimes they look radically different. Judo, jiu-jitsu are wrestling arts, if you will. They're grappling. People get a hold of each other, throw each other to the ground. We are a karate, and while we have elements of throws and those kind of techniques, we principally use kicking and punching as our means of self-defense.
So I guess my son is right, because my son, as I told you, is also a black belt in Taekwondo. So I said, what is the difference between karate and Taekwondo? So he said, they like to punch and we like to kick.
He's right. He's right. Taekwondo is probably, like your son says, it's 75–80% kicking techniques. Karate, particularly the one that I teach, we're 50-50. We use hand and foot techniques in balance with each other. Another bigger difference between my particular style of karate, we do tournaments, we do competition from time to time, but it's not our strongest emphasis. Whereas most Taekwondo schools, I think, there's a strong emphasis on competition. That's another major difference.
Well, when I first met you, I was really impressed because because I studied Chinese medicine. I studied diet, nutrition, and I was familiar with Tai Chi, Kung Fu, and Bagua.
Right.
But when I was talking to you, it seems to me that you have a pretty good understanding about Chinese medicine and the energy and the qi and the flow and all of this. And so that really, to me, it sets you above the crowd, because I've seen a lot of karate or kung fu or taekwondo instructors, and it seems to me that I haven't seen anybody else who have such thorough understanding about interaction between Chinese medicine and what they are doing. So tell us a little bit more about your trainings.
Sure, thank you. You're right. Our art, and most karate, has a connection to China. Our particular art is called Uechi-ryu karate. We came to Okinawa from China at the beginning of the 20th century, so very recently. We were Kung Fu originally, and then Uechi is a family name. It's the Uechi family's style of karate. When Master Kanbun Uechi died, his students named the art after him. So when the Chinese arts, the Kung Fu arts, tend to be complete arts, and what I mean is they teach you to fight, but they teach you to heal as well. When they got brought to Okinawa and then became karate and karate got brought to America, we took the fighting and we left the healing behind.
You left it to us.
Exactly, and I'm happy. I know there are a lot of folks out there like myself who, understanding that a half of our art is missing. I've taken courses in Chinese medicine, studied a little acupuncture, not to any great depth. I've thought about maybe becoming a licensed acupuncturist, but it's more time than I have to devote to it. But I have friends like yourself who will teach me. So we're trying to reconstruct that connection between the self-defensive arts and the healing arts because they inform each other very strongly. Great example. In acupuncture, acupressure, you use spots along meridians in order to break up blockages and allow qi to flow, and that creates a more healthy structure, person. Well, in traditional martial arts, we use that same technology to cause blockages and disruptions.
To enemies, right?
Only to people who need it. We only hurt people who need to be hurt. Yes, only, obviously, karate is a defensive art. It's taught, traditionally it's taught that it's never a goal to win a fight. The goal is to get out of a fight. And if you can get out of a fight before punches and kicks start flying, that's the ultimate. Once it goes bad and you have to hit, we hit pressure points. We try to go for soft spots. We try to use qi flow in order to disrupt somebody. And the purpose of that is not to multiply the hurt that we do, but actually the opposite. If I can hit something that's sensitive and have a more profound effect on someone, that allows me to escape without doing more permanent damage to them. So, yeah, the connection to Chinese medicine is strong, and it gives us our, believe it or not, our compassionate base, so that we don't have to hurt people.
That's so interesting.
That's neat, huh?
That's neat.
Yeah.
I understand that you also studied a little bit about Tai Chi and Bagua and the Chinese Kung Fu.
Absolutely.
Do you see the connection between that and what you are doing now? And so what kind of experiences you've had?
Excellent. Great question. So, as I just said, if you are faced with an opponent and the opponent knows the same things I know about Chinese medicine, so they're going to try to disrupt my qi. So there are exercises built into traditional Okinawan karate that are intended to not just strengthen the body externally, but to strengthen your qi, your internal power. So if you are struck, your internal qi is so powerful that the disruptive strike doesn't work. So I've done some qigong and a little bagua and a little bit of Tai Chi, because those arts are all about increasing and controlling your qi. I know that there are people who look at this from the standpoint of, well, you're just punching and kicking each other. What's with all of this? What's all of that about? It's all metaphysics. It doesn't make sense. But really, it's a holistic art when it's done properly. There are people who take it too far. There are entire organizations who will put, they believe that if you do this, somebody falls down dead. That's not what we're talking about. That's movie stuff. That's for the films. In reality, there is an effect. My field of energy will have an effect on the field of energy of someone next to me. It's not magic tricks. It's hard to quantify scientifically, but it works. End of the day, if you come and you study Wei-Chü karate with me, you're going to learn the art of karate. You're going to learn its connections to Chinese medicinal thought. If you incorporate that, maybe you'll never use it. Maybe you don't even believe it can be used that way, but you'll be healthier, which is really the goal.
Well, I also studied kinesiology and energy. So, as I understand it, there are certain moves in karate that you can actually draw the energy from your enemy to yourself. Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah, that's the intent. Absolutely. It's interesting. In karate traditionally, as does Kung Fu, we use the language often of where these things come from. So any blocking technique in karate is called an uke in Japanese. So in English we say block. Block means to stop things from moving forward. You block them. Yeah. Right? We never block anything. Well, I block things sometimes. When I make a mistake, I've blocked punches with my face sometimes, but That means I'm not doing it right. Yeah, we don't block. What we do, uke literally means to receive. So if someone throws energy at me in the form of a fist or a foot, rather than blast that out or impede it, we draw it in. We draw it in physically, we draw in the energy from it. We try to, it's almost the sensation of throwing a wet blanket on a fire. I'm trying to put out that negative energy, put out that aggressiveness. And then once we put the fire out, we might have to hit back. But
well, so you'll be able to draw the energy and maybe internalize it and use that energy out towards the enemy.
Absolutely. Certainly the first manifestation of that, the first thing that students will experience is when someone throws something at you and you use physical leverage to drop them. And it's all their energy that made that happen. All you did was facilitate them falling down. So it happens in a very physical way. And then after years of study, you do get the sensation you're talking about, the sense of pulling chi from somebody.
So that has a lot in common with Tai Chi, right?
Absolutely.
So how to move the energy and use other people's energy.
Exactly.
Well, that's very interesting. As I understand it, energy is everything. Because when we talk about qi, we call it qi in Chinese, and that's actually energy.
Right.
And so energy is life. And disease is the partial loss of energy, and death is the total loss of energy, basically. Yeah. And so I would assume that you see a lot of difference in the practice of this qi and energy with physical health. And do you think this can benefit most people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In my own experience, myself, I am I'm 51 years old. I'm not that old, but I know a lot of friends who are my age who are dealing with this is the age at which you start to get those health problems. This is the age, by now, by the time most men my age are in their late 40s, they're already taking cholesterol medication, right?
I've seen that a lot.
Right. They're probably, a lot are taking high blood pressure medications. And that's the start of it. And then it goes from there, depending on your genetics, your diet, your habits. There are gentlemen my age who I know who have a cabinet full of pills. I'm proud to say I am on no prescription drugs. None.
You look very healthy.
I feel good.
You feel good. That's great.
And I think a great part of that is definitely the fact that I've stayed physically active in an activity that I am good at and that I enjoy and that I'm passionate about. It allows me to practice on my own. But it also allows me to go to a school and interact with other people, so there's a social element to it. Unlike, I know guys who play basketball, with nothing wrong with it, it's great exercise, but if you can't get the other guys together, you can't play basketball. I can do karate alone. I can go to the dojo and have a great, because the social element is important.
Yeah,
that's my accountability. Right?
There you go.
They have if I'm not meeting my friends there, then I might skip. But because my friends are there, I won't. I also think that one of the great things about karate is that it has a great balance between intensity and low intensity. Some of what we do is tremendously intense. It's explosive, literally. You move very rapidly under high tension. And other times, you move constantly with low effort. And the combination of those two ways of moving mean you're never overtaxing yourself too much, but you do get the intensity to build muscle and to build strength and to build coordination. Yeah. So
you can pretty much adjust what type of intensity according to your own level or your energy.
Absolutely. As a practitioner, I can adjust it to my energy level. As a teacher, I can adjust the intensity level to meet the needs of every student. If somebody is dealing with physical limitations, I have students who start in their late 40s or 50s who just beginning karate. They've always wanted to do it their whole lives, and they get to start. It's wonderful. But they already have, gentlemen often have bad backs. And one of the reasons they come to me is they have back problems, and they're hoping some flexibility training will help them with that. And it does. But you have to start slow. You have to start very slowly.
Yeah, I understand.
I also teach for colleges. So that's wonderful. I'm at Brandeis University, and everybody is between the ages of 18 and 23 years old, and no one's hurt.
Prime age, there you go, yeah, the best time.
No one's hurt yet. So they're wonderful to work with because we don't have those physical limitations. So our intensity is pretty high, because they can handle it. But at the dojo in Billerica, where I get a different clientele, we take the intensity to meet each person at a level that they can participate.
And so, how long you've been practicing this for? Over 30 years? And
38 years this year.
38 years. Yeah. Do you really need to practice like every day, or can you take a break and do you still remember if you have to break?
Yeah. That's a great question. Well, this is my personal approach. My first instructor, his name was Sensei Bruce Cummings, and Bruce said to me within the first 1 or 2 classes, he said, you need to practice this every single day.
Every day? Every
day. He said, look, some people, I was on track team. I was a runner. I figured if I couldn't fight, I could at least run. Right? So I was a runner. And running, we had to do 5 miles a day I was on cross country as well as other things. 5 miles a day. It was intensive and time-consuming exercise every day. So when you tell people you have to exercise every day, that's what goes in their head. But Sensei Cummings said to me, look, do 2 to 10 minutes a day. That's it. That's all. But make sure it's every single day. And he was a big, intimidating guy, so when he told me to do things, I did them.
Oh, yeah.
So starting then until now, it's now 38 years later, I have never gone to sleep at night without having practiced, even if it's for 10 seconds. I don't let the sun go down without doing something. I told you the story. I've gotten up out of hospital beds, thrown a punch or two, and then fallen back in the bed again. I realize that I'm a little obsessive, and that's what makes me good at what I do. I've absolutely dedicated my life to this. It's what makes me a good teacher. Not everyone has to reach the level of obsession that I've reached, but 5 to 10 minutes of light movement every day, whether it's karate, if it's karate, great, that's wonderful, if that's what appeals to you. But if it's yoga, or dance, or some other movement form, Tai Chi, Kung Fu, or even just, if no one's watching, dance like you like to. But move for 10 minutes a day. The benefits are incredible.
I agree with you because I'm busy. I would love to go to your dojo and take some karate. I'm thinking about it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But at the same time, since I see clients like 5 days a week.
It's hard.
And so it's really difficult for me to take a couple of hours and drive to a dojo or gym and do some exercise. So what I do is that I have a yoga mat in my living room. I have a yoga mat next to my TV in our basement. So when in between clients, when I have 5 minutes even, I would do some yoga poses and do some planks or,
nice.
And then just try to kind of, I think that's the philosophy of the Slight Edge. I don't know whether you've read the book.
Oh, I love the Slight Edge.
Yeah,
yes.
by Jeff Olson.
Yes.
I love that book. The Slight Edge, basically, you don't have to do huge things, but if you keep on doing a little bit every day, and so a cumulative effort.
Something I suggest to students, and if I can't think of anything else to do, if I'm watching TV, which I don't do that often, but if I am, what I will do is when a commercial comes on, I will stand up, get off the couch, and I'll just stand on one leg. Just to improve balance. It changes the way your muscles have to work. And then next commercial, I'll try the other leg. Balance is one of the greatest benefits of all these years of martial arts training is my balance is very, very, very good. I rarely fall unless I want to. And when I do fall, I don't fall badly. And as people age, being able to fall under your own control can be really important. We're more prone to slips and falls as we get older.
That's true.
So we train at the dojo, again, gradually and softly. We learn how to fall properly so that you don't get hurt. We replace our instinct to do the wrong thing, which is to reach for the ground. That's what gets your arms and wrists damaged, with something that's a little more supportive, to fall in a way that minimizes injury. So the first part of that is having good balance, standing on one foot. If you do that for 5 minutes a day, you'll improve your balance. And then if you do fall, you'll have greater control over the way you fall.
That's a great tip for our audience. So if you watch TV, stand on one foot, try to shift and do some moves. And so it doesn't have to be huge improvements.
No.
And so tell us a little bit more about your dojo. I understand that you have your own school of teaching. And what's the philosophy of your school?
That's great. We have 2 philosophies. I have one philosophy for my teachers, for what we're trying to do, and I have a philosophy that I teach to my students. What I'm trying to do is to enrich everyone's life the way mine was enriched. I've been very lucky. The last 38 years of studying martial arts have made me physically healthy, but they've done a lot of other things for me. I'm probably far more confident a person than I used to be, than I would have been without. I'm confident. I'm not fearful of new situations. I'm also, I don't get, and through when I was a younger man, I don't get into ego contests with other people. I don't need to. I've become an expert on conflict resolution outside of the world of karate. I help people negotiate. I help people to, I'll go into businesses and consult with them to help them solve a problem. If they have a toxic employee in there that's created a negative environment, I'll come in and help the people who are left after that person leaves to fix that, to make it a positive environment. All of that comes from karate. So I want those benefits that I've gotten to transfer to my students. So we remember every day that karate is a journey of a lifetime, and today's class is one more step in that journey. It's more important to me that you enjoy this so much that you do it for the rest of your life. So we keep it fun, we keep it well within people's physical ability, and we make sure that people always get value from every class. So that's our philosophy from our side. Now, the philosophy we try to impart to our students, especially our kids, can be summed up in a quick phrase. You give double and you take half.
What do you mean?
Okay. And that's what they say too. What do you mean? For your listeners, and you guys will understand this. In Okinawa, they have a saying, and it needs to be said here. Okinawa is one of those places that has a sizable population of people who live to be well over 100 years old.
Longevity there.
Yeah.
I've heard about that
There's
place.
a book called The Blue Zones, which talks about populations on the planet where people typically live to be centurions over 100 years.
Amazing.
So the Okinawans, they have a saying, and the saying is hara hachibu. And hara hachibu means eat until you're 80% full. It's a little idea about health. Don't overeat. That's simple. But it's more than just health. It's a philosophy of life. It means to take only what you need. And on the other side of taking only what you need, to give as much as you can. So that's what, when we give as much as we can. When we take as little as we need to. I want, my greatest goal, I think I told you about this before, my greatest goal, I want one of my students to go on to win a Nobel Peace Prize. If they become karate champions, great. If they become karate teachers, fantastic. But my real goal for them is that they become people who have a positive impact in their families, in their communities, in their country, in the world. I'm a little bit of an activist. I try to fix what's wrong.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I have the same goal. My passion is really to help people.
Absolutely.
Not only to live healthier, but happier, but also how to contribute to the community.
Absolutely.
And to make the world a better place for everyone.
That's what we're here
And we
for.
have the same goal there.
That's why we're friends.
There you go. I like you.
I like you too.
And so I understand that you have some photos of your dojo and your students.
Absolutely.
If you can tell us a little bit more about
Sure.
the photos.
Okay,
There is one.
this is the dojo. As you can see, the decorations are simple. We don't have mirrors on the walls, as some karate studios are decorated in very interesting ways. We keep it simple. It's interesting, if you look at the wall hangings, there's nothing in English on the walls. I had a friend of mine who studied in Okinawa for 3 years. He stepped into our dojo and he said, well, this is just like being in Okinawa. And that's what we're going for. This is a party. We do birthday parties. That's one way in which we help our students spread the word about the dojo to their friends. Folks will have a birthday party in the dojo. It helps us by growing the school, and it helps them because we clean up afterwards. We take care of the whole party. So that's me taking on one of my tougher opponents. He's 6 years old.
So is he picking the wrong person?
I'm picking on the wrong person
You
there.
picked the wrong person.
This is good. This is a great picture. The blue suit on the left, that's my son, and on the right is one of the
Looks
participants.
like a girl.
Well, the other, did I say it wrong? Did I say it wrong? No, yeah.
The right one looks like a girl
It
there,
is.
right?
Yeah, that's a young lady. The guy in the blue suit is my son.
Oh, fighting with his son.
Yeah, we do, about once a month, we do self-defense seminars for women. I want to make sure that women can stay safe in the world, and a little bit of information goes a long way. one of the approaches we take with this armored suit, this is a tactical training suit that police officers use. You can hit this thing with a bat, and the person inside it barely knows it's happening.
Oh, wow.
Why that's useful is if I teach women or anyone self-defense techniques, but they can't use them full power, they'll never understand how to use them properly. So we'll put someone in the suit, usually someone as big as I can find, and we'll let the ladies try what we just taught them, full power against the suit, so they can see how effective it actually is.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And so you do teach classes for women who want to take defense classes, even though they might not be students at a dojo.
Right.
So
right.
they can find more information? Yeah,
we do have women who take regular karate classes. In fact, to be a master instructor, which I am, I have to promote someone under me to the level of master. And the first person I promoted to 5th degree black belt or master level was my wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she is the highest ranking woman in our organization in North America at 5th degree black belt. So I'm pretty proud of that.
I better be careful with Lisa, so I don't want to mess with her.
Neither do I, and I taught her. But I want to teach girls, and I want to teach women because I think it's great for guys, it's great for boys, but it's even more important for ladies, I think. So if you check the website, which is billericadojo.com, our schedule of classes is there. We have upcoming seminars for women's self-defense. Those will be posted there. All the information about the school should be there.
Nice. And I just wonder, I don't know, want to ask a favor?
Sure.
Could you show some of your moves?
Sure.
I don't know whether we've got enough space here.
Yeah. No, I can make this happen.
That'd be great.
Okay, this comes originally from China through Okinawa. This is Uechiru Sanchin. Soon. Thank you. That's so
wow,
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad we have you as a guest on the show today.
Very
and for
glad to
more
be.
information about Steve and his dojo, please go to his website. And I'm so glad that we have this fun time to learn more about exercise and physical activity. Please stay healthy until next time.